online crew. Let's have a chat about the latest advice on the length of videos. So what I'm going to cover in this video is live videos, reels, and TikTok. So they're all forms of video. So depending, where you are, what platform you're on, what you're doing, there's a different kind of length of time for those things. It is a common question that I get asked is how long should these be? How long should that be? So I thought I'd address it today. So hopefully this is going to be helpful for you, whether you're doing live videos, whether you're doing reels, whether you're doing TikToks, some different options for you, or all of the above. So if we haven't met before, my name's Helen Martin. I'm your online crew captain for our amazing online crew here of social sellers, mainly those in network marketing, in the entrepreneurial space, etc., and you're building online. And what I teach is basically social media systems to be successful online, basically the ABC of social selling, which is attracting people to you, building, a brand and influence, and converting those to customers and teammates. But we do that in a way where, what's important to me is to be a human before a marketer. So if that's something that aligns with you, that's important to you, then you're in the right place. Okay. So if you're here with me live, please say hello. Just give me, let me know you're here so I can give you a bit of a shout out. So hello to those on the Instagram and those watching, on Facebook, on my business page, or my group, or YouTube. Okay. So let me get straight into it. Live videos. So those live videos could be on Facebook or Instagram. So if you're going live, like what I'm doing right now. So I'm obviously doing a live video. I'm broadcasting live on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram all at the same time. So what I would say about live videos is, and these days, ideally, it's somewhere between about 10 minutes and 20 minutes. And I'll give you the reasons why. And there's a couple of things that you need to consider with Facebook Lives. Do you already have an audience? Are people used to listening to you? Do you already have credibility and influence? The more of that you have, the longer that you can talk live. The less of that you have, the less that you should be talking live, because your audience isn't used to hanging around with you for a while. And we are in a world of micro video content. People want things quick. They want them fast. They want bite sizes, pieces of content. People are busy. We've all got a million things going on. So for you to be able to hold an audience on like a live video like this, you've got to earn that. So basically with live video of this nature, the more credibility, the more influence, the more people are used to listening to your trainings, you've built up that rapport over time, the longer that you can talk. As far as the algorithm goes with something like this, if you're on a live video like I'm doing right now, really, really fast, so it's not micro video content. You're not relying on untapped organic reach, which you can get out of Reels and TikTok. You're actually relying on the algorithm of the people that are already there. So when I'm going live on Facebook now, in my group and in my business, on my business page, Facebook is making, and same with Instagram, with the people that are following me on Instagram, my video, this particular video, is only being sent to a certain percentage of the people that are following me or finding me publicly. It's not going out to untapped organic reach like Reels and TikTok do. So if people aren't used to listening to you live, they don't really know, they're not really used to the value that you bring. If you don't talk long enough, so you're on and off within 30 seconds to a minute, do not expect many results from your live video, because the algorithm hasn't had enough time to do anything with your video. It works very differently to Reels and TikTok, like live video, like I'm doing right now. So you do need to talk a little bit longer to give Facebook or Instagram time to send your video out to people. If you can get people jump on your video, so things that can help is if you advertise ahead of time when you're going live, so there's an expectation of when you're going live and what you're talking about, and people can jump on when you go live, so they're there to start with, then that will send off signals in the algorithm and drive the algorithm to send your content out to more of the people that are following you. Does that make sense? So live videos, particularly like Reels and TikToks, you don't need to give any warning to anybody about those kind of videos. You just put them up and let the algorithm do their thing. Live video like I'm doing right now, if you want to give yourself a better opportunity to get the algorithm working for you to reach more people, it would be best to actually have a post or some prior notification, those of you that are doing email marketing, to let people know when you're going live, what time you're going live, and what you're going live about. So when you go live, there's some people there, and that will help the algorithm. And then you speak for a little bit. So if you're not really established online, it might be kind of up to 10 minutes. I wouldn't do much less. But around the 10-20 minute mark does seem to be kind of the sweet spot with, sending out your video to more people. If you talk a lot longer than that, but you don't really have a stable audience, it probably won't work very well for you. Okay. And you'll be putting too much time and energy into your content without the result. I've had people that have told me in the past, or had people that have told, other people, go live 5 days a week, as much as you can. And it's like, well, if you're going live 5 days a week for 20-30 minutes at a time and no one's showing up, you are going to get exhausted by social media pretty quickly. You're overdoing it. You're overshadowing your own algorithm. You're not even letting the algorithm do its thing with the people that are already there before you've got another piece of content coming over the top. So like the difference between micro video content and like posts and lives like this is that in your news feed, you don't want to overdo it with lives and posts. You want to do as many micro videos as you can. If you can do a few a day, awesome. You'll probably grow a lot faster. But with live videos like this or posts in a news feed, you don't want post after post after post, or live video and then you got a post and then another post, and you got 5 posts going up in your news feed in Instagram and in Facebook. You're going to kill your own algorithm. So I hope that's helpful with just sort of knowing the difference between micro video and kind of live, video content. Okay, so let's move on to something like Reels. So there is that massive difference between traditional kind of live content and the micro video content. Reels, as an average, a good time frame for a reel will be somewhere between 7 and 15 seconds. Now, there is something else you can do with Reels that I would encourage you to test with Reels. So anything like, 5 to 7 seconds. And this is the same for TikTok as well. So I'll get onto TikTok in a minute. But sort of 7 to 15 seconds would be a good time frame for Reels. Okay, so test that. A really good thing to try with Reels and even TikToks is really micro. So you're talking 5 to 7 seconds and you let it loop. Do you know what I mean by looping? So a 5 to 7 second reel or TikTok would be something like, maybe you're just videoing yourself, working away on your computer, or you're walking, or you're sitting having a coffee. So there's movement in your video. So even with a 5 to 7 second, there's movement in the video. So, just do something. Okay. So that's your video. But lay it over the top of your 5 to 7 second video is a whole lot of words. So you're saying something, you're giving a piece of advice, you're giving 7 tips to do something, or things to be aware of, or like you've got a whole lot of words on there, and you've got music on there as well. So you've got a movement video of 5 to 7 seconds. You've got a whole lot of words on the video, and you've got some music. So you've got some ambience, you've got a vibe to it. People are listening to the music, but they're reading. So that's something that when they stay on the screen, so it's just one screen of words over the top, lay it over the top of your video. That's going to do what we call loop within 5 seconds. And you're going to have a lot of words on the screen. So for them to read everything that you've written, they're probably going to watch it over and over again. So it's what we call looping. So the more that they read and the more often that they read, it's going to keep on looping and looping and looping. So to the algorithm, it's like somebody's watching your video over and over and over and over and over again, and their view isn't interrupted because the words stay on the screen. Does that make sense? So traditionally, like reels play in the 7 to 15 second mark. That's what works really well on reels. But you don't be afraid to test out something like a looping reel of 5 to 7 seconds with the video in the background. So you've got a bit of movement, you've got a whole lot of words. The words will stay on the screen when it loops. So people don't even know that it's looping, but do have music on it as well. So throw that into the mix. Those of you that are holding back on Reels and TikTok, that's where I would recommend you could even start. Who can't do that? Take a little video of themselves walking down the path, or somebody takes a little video of you, or you set it up in your camera, with the reverse screen and looking at you, or you just film yourself working away at a computer, or you're in a coffee shop and you just film yourself, just reading, having a bit of, having a bit of coffee, whatever. And then what value are you bringing? What are you sharing? 7 tips to do something, or something to be aware of, or did you know, or whatever it is, and you flood your reel, keeping the boundaries of the reel when you're putting your wording on. Like don't go right to the sides, and the top and the bottom is what I mean. And have all that on the screen with the music, and let it loop, 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 loop. See what kind of views you get out of that. Okay. So that's what I recommend you do for Reels. TikTok. Now, TikTok is interesting because what I would recommend with TikTok, you can play with TikTok a bit with various lengths of time, but TikTok is a real opportunity for you to do different types of videos. So my advice and what I've seen and what I'm experiencing is will be different depending on how you brand yourself and what kind of videos that you create. So if you're still on trending TikToks, you're repurposing your 7 to 15 second reels onto TikTok because your branding is the same in both platforms, then stick to the 7 to 15 seconds. Okay. If you are more value-based, education-based on TikTok, like if you look at my TikTok, most of my TikToks are, pretty much all of them, 100% of them are me talking. I've learnt this the hard way this week. Don't go, so you can do longer, okay? But don't really go over 3 minutes. But if you are on TikTok to give value and talk and share valuable information you weave in your business or your products, however you're branding yourself, then you can do what we call longer on micro video. It's not long really, but like 30 seconds to a minute and a half, couple of minutes, but don't do any longer than 3 minutes would be my recommendation. But, if you're giving a value-based TikTok, you can also mix that up. Like the best thing you can do with different types of lengths of time on TikTok is to test and evaluate what works for you. So I've kind of found my groove with talking videos because of my journey that I've been on for the last 6 months, the weight that I've lost, what I'm sharing, the information, etc. But to share something, with you that happened this week, like 6 days ago now, I put up a video. I just didn't record it very well. I got interrupted while I was recording it, and I didn't really realize how much I'd repeated myself. And I would say something and then I went off on a tangent and came back, and I got a tirade of negative comments. I actually put a TikTok up yesterday talking about the tirade of negative comments just because I wanted to make a point. It's like, if you're a keyboard warrior, go away. Like my skin is pretty thick, and that's what I said in the video, but I was just kind of making a point. And a lot of people have come back and said, totally agree with you regarding keyboard warriors. Okay. But my video that I did was over 4 minutes. And if you're a really good talker, you're a really good copywriter, like you can actually hold your language and your story really well. There's no reason why you couldn't do like a 4 minute or longer TikTok. I've definitely listened to TikToks from doctors and people that really know what they're talking about for longer than 4 minutes. So it doesn't mean that it's not possible. But if you are newer to the journey of creating micro video content and you're doing talking videos like I am on TikTok, and you're just not that versed with your speech or your confidence, definitely go shorter. Okay, shorter the better. And you want to say what you want to say, and you want to give the value, obviously. But if you start rambling, TikTok will slam you. I know. I've been there. I've experienced it this week. And lesson learned just to how to tighten things up and do things better and get to the point more quicker. So more quickly. So TikTok, get to the point quickly, get it done in shortest time frame possible. It's called micro video content for a reason. Those that have got huge credibility and authority and specialists in their field, like doctors and experts and whatever, they can hold it longer because they've earned that right. Does that make sense? Like if you've got stripes, if you've got qualifications, if you're really fluent in your speech, then you might be able to carry it off a little bit longer. So as a general rule on TikTok, I'd still stick to the 7 to 15 seconds, especially if you're doing trending ones. Don't be afraid to try the looping ones on TikTok as well. Again, if you brand the same way as you do on Instagram, Facebook and TikTok, you could just use the same videos. The looping ones work well on TikTok as well, or can work well. You've got to test that yourself, but you could use that same kind of strategy that I explained with a reel on TikTok as well. Throw it into the mix and see how you go. Another reason why you want to throw it into the mix is it's going to help you create content quicker. If you're just doing something like videoing yourself, typing on your computer, putting a whole lot of words on it and just whacking some music on it, is that not easy to create? Any one of you can do that. It doesn't even mean you have to talk. And you could even go to ChatGTP and get the content that you're typing over the top. Give me the top 5 ways to XYZ. And you get the content from ChatGTP, you type that over your video and away you go. There are no excuses anymore for any of you not to be able to put content out like that that's looping. And you never know, one of those might take off. Okay, so just be careful on how you're positioning yourself on TikTok. Bring into consideration your influence, your credibility, your knowledge, your journey. I am a qualified, in case you didn't know, I'm actually a qualified fitness instructor and Zumba instructor, and I do teach a class at the gym every Monday morning. I've done that for 8 years. So I do have credibility. I don't talk about that very often because I don't see myself in that way of having those credentials. But if I need to, I can bring that in. But I've been on a very powerful journey for the last 6 months of weight loss. So yes, I've lost 23 kilos and over 50 pounds. And I share on my TikTok how I've done that and what I'm using and what I recommend and whatever. It's the journey that people buy into. So if I can share something with you regarding social media content, is what journey are you on? What result do you have? If you don't have a result, 2 things. I was talking to my network marketing team only about this earlier. Go and create your own journey and your own story. And if you don't have one right now, don't look at this year as, oh my gosh, Christmas is around the corner. We've only got 2 months to go. Look at it like, there's still 2 months of this year to go. I could create my own story and my own journey in the next 2 months. And then I could start 2024 off with a bang in my business because I've created, this powerful journey and story of mine over the last 8 weeks with your business or your products or, whatever. Like, go and create your own journey and your story because that's what's going to be more powerful, and your credibility and your influence can go through the roof. Okay, so you can create that. Okay, did all of that make sense? Have you got any questions while you've got me live? Let me just check in to see the comments here. Good point. Hey, Liz. Hey, Ford. Hey, Cindy. Good to see you on. Thank you. You watch it because of the value I share. Thank you. So doing a live video 5 days a week, I'd advise keeping it to 10 minutes. Evaluate that, Liz. If you're going live 5 days a week, is that warranted? Do you have the audience for it? People think going live more often is a good thing. Micro video content, yes, put up as much as you can, as often as you can. Live video, evaluate your numbers. Now, you can only evaluate your numbers on a personal profile. If you're on the traditional personal profile by your engagement and the number of views. If you've got the professional mode of a personal profile, if that's where you're going live, you're going to get stats that you can delve into. If you've got a business page that you're going live on, you can dive into those stats. What is the organic reach? What is the engagement in relation to that organic reach? How many lives are you going? How many views are you getting? So look at the numbers. We can get all emotional and go, I need to go live 5 days a week, or I don't need to go live 5 days a week. Let the numbers do the talking to tell you whether it's worth your while or not. So track your metrics over a couple of weeks, Liz, and then throw something different into the mix. Maybe try going live 3 times instead of 5 times and watch your numbers. Did your reach go up because you're doing less? Did your engagement go up because you're doing less? If you did that and tested that for a couple of weeks, I know what I would be doing moving forward. I would be going live 3 times a week instead of 5. So let the numbers do the talking, Liz. So test and evaluate. Okay. Yes. So appreciate your transparency. Thank you. Okay, good to know. All right. Any other questions? No, we're good. So I hope that's helpful for you to just know a little bit about the different platforms and, what's working sort of now. On that line of what I was just saying to Liz there with feedback to her is test and evaluate. Throw in the looping ones, especially those of you that are sitting back a little bit at the moment and you're not using Reels and TikTok to your advantage. Just go and video yourself, put some words on it, put some music on it, and get some content out there. Just do something, okay? And, test the 7 to 15 seconds and test longer ones on YouTube if that fits your brand, okay? So thank you for those of you that are on with me live, and I hope those of you catching the replay get some value from this as well. This is my last live video for the week, so I will catch you guys next week for more sort of great information and training, and I hope you have an amazing weekend.